The year of our Lord 1872 brought forth a vessel christened the Mary Celeste, setting sail beneath a bruised and weeping sky. 10 souls, including the captain's own wife and infant child, departed the safety of New York Harbor for shores unknown. Little did they know the Atlantic depths were already preparing their cold, silent embrace. They were bound for Genoa, yet destiny had charted a far darker, inescapable course. Within her wooden belly slumbered 1,700 barrels of fiery spirit, a volatile cargo of raw alcohol that whispered of ruin. The heavy timbers groaned under the weight of this sleeping beast as the brigantine cut through the churning gray waters. It was a perilous burden to bear across the unforgiving ocean, where a single spark could summon perdition. Yet, it would not be a mortal fire that ultimately consumed the 10 souls aboard. 'Twas December when the crew of the Dei Gratia spied a lonely shape upon the desolate expanse, her sails hanging like the ragged shrouds of a restless corpse. She moved with an eerie, erratic waltz, a spectral dancer lost upon the waves without a master's guiding hand. No answering cry returned their hails, only the mournful wind whistling through her desolate rigging. She was a floating tomb, drifting in the silent, watery expanse betwixt the Azores and the Portuguese coast. With trembling hands and prayers muttered to deaf heavens, a boarding party breached the wooden sanctity of the drifting ghost. The silence that greeted them was absolute, heavier than the ocean itself, pressing against their racing hearts like a physical weight. No blood stained the deck, no signs of a desperate struggle marred the steadfast, salt-cured timber. It was as if the vessel's inhabitants had been swallowed whole by the invisible, gaping maws of the sea. Below deck, the phantoms of mundane life sat frozen in a terrifying tableau of sudden, inexplicable departure. Rainwater pooled darkly in the hold, yet the ship remained stubbornly, dreadfully whole and seaworthy. A child's impression remained upon a cot, and the sailors' pipes were left untouched, waiting for lips that would never return. It was a fragile domestic tranquility shattered by an unseen, unfathomable terror that struck without warning. The singular yawl, their only desperate instrument of salvation, had been violently torn from its moorings. A frayed halyard trailed weakly in the dark, churning waters, a severed tether to whatever abyss they had plunged into. Why would seasoned mariners abandon a seaworthy fortress for the frail mercy of a wooden shell in the open ocean? What creeping horror had driven 10 souls to choose the icy wrath of the Atlantic over the shelter of their own ship? Upon the captain's desk lay the ship's log, its final, unremarkable entry scrawled on the 25th of November. For 10 harrowing days, this wooden leviathan had sailed herself, guided only by the blind, capricious whims of the wind and tide. The ink offered no confession, no desperate plea for salvation, nor any warning of the encroaching doom. The mundane silence of the paper was far more maddening than any written scream could ever be. No mortal pirate had claimed this vessel, for the ship's coffers remained heavy with coin, and the sailors' chests lay completely unplundered. A common cutthroat seeks treasure and spilled blood, yet here, only the flesh of men had been stolen away in the dead of night. The precious, volatile cargo slumbered undisturbed in the pitch-black hold, rendering the greed of men an impossible culprit. The thief that visited the Mary Celeste was not of this earth, desiring a bounty far darker than earthly gold. Learned men in somber robes convened to unravel the enigma, whispering nervously of mutiny, sea monsters, and madness born of the alcoholic fumes. They interrogated the shadows and weighed the silent testimonies, but the truth remained stubbornly locked within the ocean's black, impenetrable heart. Every mortal theory shattered against the pristine, bloodless reality of the abandoned, silent decks. The sea keeps her grim secrets well, eternally mocking the feeble inquiries of land-bound mortals. To this very hour, the fate of Captain Benjamin Briggs and his 9 doomed companions remains a hollow, terrifying void in the annals of man. They were simply erased from the waking world, consumed by the eternal, uncaring maw of the fathomless Atlantic. When you stand upon the shore and gaze into the churning black waters, listen closely to the hissing tide. It speaks still of the Mary Celeste, patiently waiting in the dark to claim the next wandering soul.